Hey, welcome to another episode of From Donuts to Dinners. Basically a cops to a chef story. Today we're going to do something pretty unique on this episode. We are going to cook with acid. This episode is actually very near and dear to me. This episode is actually dedicated to one of my best friend's mothers. She died about a month ago by the name of Elvia Rivadeneira. She was born in Peru, and she told me to make these dishes because her son was hopeless in cooking and she needed somebody to pass the recipes down to. So of course I had to step in for her. Oh, twist my arm. She did give me a few shots of pisco when she wasn't looking, even though I stole it when I was a kid. In any case, we're gonna make Elvia's Peruvian ceviche. We're also gonna make a classic Peruvian side dish called papas a la Incancina, which is basically just Incan style hot pepper sauce, which will go over boiled potatoes. The great thing about this dish, it's great on a hot day in the kitchen because there is literally no stove work involved other than boiling your potatoes, which you could also do in the microwave and save yourself tons of time. You know, pick a Yukon Gold potato a few times, throw it in the microwave for 6 minutes, and it is just as well cooked as if you boiled it for 20-30 minutes. The other thing is you could also buy boiled eggs, and you don't have to cook anything, and it's a perfect summer dish. So let's get started with cooking of our ceviche. Just put that to the side for a second. So what we have here is basically some shrimp. You could use any size shrimp you like. If you're going to use a larger shrimp, if that's what you have available in your supermarket or from your fish store, you would just chop that up into smaller pieces, bite-sized pieces. These are 31-40 count on the shrimp. That means they're smaller in size. If you were to cook them, they would, in a traditional sense, they would shrivel down to nothing. The acid will cook these, and they will be pretty good. So we're gonna just put these into a bowl, and we're gonna mix all of our other ingredients in with it. With this, of course, like everything else on this planet, we are gonna season it with a little bit of salt. I'm gonna leave off the black pepper for now because the acid is gonna cook it, and we're gonna, with the sauce that's gonna be made with the potatoes dish, I don't wanna kill it with too much pepper. I will show you that in a minute. Also adding to that, I chopped up a large size red onion. You don't have to use the whole thing if you don't want. I like to use about maybe a half of the onion size. You wanted to add this as a little bit of a complement to the shrimp. You don't want to overpower the shrimp with the onion. To that, I am also going to be adding some chopped up cilantro. A little bit of raw garlic, just chopped up. Sliced into little, thin slices or small chunks. You don't want to add the root. Very small, just quick and easy chop on it. Just to add a little bit more flavor. Also, as it pickles or cooks in the ceviche style, it just adds and lends to the flavor of everything. So, to that, we're just going to add some of the chopped up garlic. All right, now here's the fun part. You can cook ceviche with any type of citrus you like. The acid in the citrus is what is actually pickling, which is actually cooking the protein. Something like shrimp, if you add the acid, you let it sit for about an hour, it is cooked. You let it sit longer, it will develop flavor stronger. It will continue to cook in a sense, but the acid is basically killing off any bacteria, anything harmful, and when it is done and chilled, you basically eat it, cooked or raw, however you want to basically say it, but the acid cooks and kills off any of the bad stuff, and it tastes fantastic. Now, that being said, in a traditional Peruvian recipe, Mrs. Rivadeneira would only really use lime juice, sometimes a little lemon juice. Where I differ is I like to experiment a little bit, and I'm going to tell you 4 things that we're going to do a little bit different. Well, 3 things we're going to do a little bit differently. Of course, we're going to use lime juice. You have to use lime juice when you're making ceviche. Why? It really wouldn't be a ceviche without the lime juice. I add a little bit of lemon juice just to add a little more background flavor, and I actually use a little bit of grapefruit juice because I think it adds like just another whole different layer. It gives it kind of that almost like island vibe. You know, if you're sipping on a beach somewhere with a Mai Tai or a pina colada, you can have this in a little bowl or some crackers and it would be fantastic. Thinking about that, I may go to the beach after this episode, so we'll see. All right, so we're gonna add our about 4 lemons squeezed. We're gonna add 2 large grapefruits that was squeezed earlier. And we're gonna add our 4 or 5 limes, you know, depending on the size of the limes. And we're basically just gonna mix this up a little bit. Another way I differ in my ceviches is that I add something from a distillery that's near me. There's a distillery, I live in Long Island, New York, and there's a distillery in New York called Twisted Cow Distillery, which is in Northport, New York. I brought a few of their bottles with me of their line. They make quite a few things, but I will tell you they're unique in very one aspect. We're gonna cook with another one of their rye vodkas in another episode, but they are the only distillery in New York that has ever made a Rospato. That is the Dune Drifter. If you want to taste it, you know, call me up. Maybe I'll meet you at the distillery and we'll have a drink together. But in terms of the ceviche dish, we're going to use a little bit of their lemon tude. Their lemon tude is basically their version of a bottled lemon drop. You know, that shot we've all had in college and some of you are still drinking now. The great thing about what their bottle is, it's made with fresh lemon juice. It's made with 1/3 less the sugar you would get in a lemon drop. And they use a molasses-based vodka, which is absolutely phenomenal. You could ask my camera guys, they've been drinking it all day. You could drink it over ice. But what we're gonna do something unique with it is, there's an old saying, never drink a wine or never use an alcohol in a dish that you wouldn't drink yourself. And that goes same true with your cooking, like a ceviche. Never use something that you wouldn't put in there or drink straight from the bottle. Never cook something that you wouldn't cook with otherwise. So I'm just gonna add about maybe an ounce or 2 of their lemon tude to this to just give it a little bit of a different flavoring. Maybe modernize the ceviche a little bit than its traditional recipe. Give it more of that adult feel. So when you are cooking, when you are drinking your Mai Tais and your Pina Coladas later today, you'll be even more in love with it than you are now. You can see, even with the 5 minutes that the acid has been in contact with the shrimp, you can see it's starting to turn color a little bit, and that's what you're looking for. The longer it sits, the longer it's gonna cook, and that's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna take this ceviche, I'm gonna put it in the fridge, and then we're gonna make the side dish to this while this continues to cook. So we'll be right back. All right, guys, welcome back. We have our ceviche cooking in the fridge, inside all the different acids, as well as the Twisted Cow Distillery's lemon tude. Man, that's going to be a good ceviche. While that is cooking in the refrigerator in the acid, we are going to make a classic Peruvian side dish sauce. It's papas a la quinceañera. I know my friend's mom is going to smack me as a ghost. I feel her doing it right now, but I've tried to say this name 5 times and I'm just going to stop. It is a great dish. Basically, it is basically a yellow pepper, hot pepper sauce, made in part with hot yellow peppers. I'm using an ají amarillo from Inca's Food as a base, and we'll build off of the base of that sauce as well. And then I just basically boiled over some potatoes. We talked about earlier, you could have made them in the microwave on high. Like I said, I use Yukon Golds. We're just gonna slice them in half and serve the sauce on it. So to start making the sauce, like I said, we're gonna use the ají amarillo. You can use any brand you like. It's really just a yellow pepper paste or a Peruvian pepper paste with a bunch of spices, how they make it. Each brand will have a little bit different taste, but it's yellow hot peppers and a whole bunch of different stuff. We're gonna put this off to the side. Into this yellow pepper sauce, we're gonna add about a half a can of evaporated milk. Again, you can find this in your international aisle usually. or wherever the case is. A little bit of salt into this. A pinch, if you want to be technical with the measurements, a pinch is roughly about a teaspoon or so. We're going to start with a little bit of olive oil. If it becomes too thick, we could always even that out. We're going to, of course, add some cilantro. Most Latin American cooking or Asian cooking has a decent amount of cilantro in it. And that's the basis of this sauce. If this sauce, there's little tricks you can do if you think you want your sauce to be thicker. In terms of this yellow pepper sauce, you could always add a little bit of saltine crackers. It adds a little bit of body without adding any crazy additional flavors other than some salt. So this is gonna get loud for a couple of seconds. Excuse me. And like always, before we do anything else, we always just wanna get a bit of a spoon or something, or the back of a spoon. You wanna taste your sauce to see how you like it. Oh, and I think that's perfect. Definitely you can taste the kick. It is a great dish. Usually, as an aside to this sauce, it is usually served over boiled potatoes. This sauce you could serve either hot or cold. It is completely your choice. I'm gonna serve some of the ingredients with it. Basically just taking our Yukon Gold potatoes. You can use any style you like. This is traditionally also made with, as well as with purple Peruvian potatoes. I couldn't find them, to be honest with you. In the store, they usually come out later in the season, or if you're to order online or something along those lines. But Yukon Gold is one of my favorite potatoes to use because it has a great taste. It has very creamy, and it is just great. For this platter, I think I'm gonna actually use maybe one more potato, just so we could fill it up. I like to use it, cook with the skins on. It holds it together better. I like the taste of potato skins. I think it's a great thing. So to that, we're just gonna add a little bit of salt like we do to everything. Season, basically a little bit of seasoning to the potatoes because they were just boiled with absolutely no other flavors. We're gonna add our Peruvian Incan sauce, because if I try to say that name again, Mrs. Rivadeneira is gonna smack me upside the head as a ghost. So we pour this straight down the middle, just covering our potatoes. Like I said, this is a side dish. And I did change the traditional recipe a little bit, but you do what you like and you cook how you feel, and you cook for others and you make it the way you like. Also, another traditional component of this dish is hard-boiled eggs. I do like the hard-boiled eggs in this. It gives it another bit of body to it. Traditionally, there are olives in this dish. I don't particularly like to use olives in it. I think it's too much of a little bit of a soft component. So what I like to do is add a little bit of capers. It adds a little bit of brininess and a little bit of saltiness, a little bit of pop of extra taste to it than you would normally get in this type of sauce. And very simply, you just get some capers and you're gonna stream it about the dish a little bit. Again, just wherever you like, just trying to appease the eye as well as the stomach. They like to say the old adage, I don't even remember what they say, so it really doesn't matter. But in either case, this is gonna be our potatoes with the yellow pepper sauce, and I'm gonna check on our ceviche to see if it's cooked enough. We'll plate that up. We'll be back in one moment. All right, welcome back to From Donuts to Dinners. So we've plated our Incan potatoes, Peruvian style yellow amarillo sauce, peppers, sauce with the stuff I can't pronounce yet again. Again, for those of you who've been playing the drinking game with my show, if I can't pronounce it, you gotta have a shot. All right then, so we're gonna finish this up. We've had our ceviche cooking in the fridge in the acid for at least the last half hour to an hour. The longer you let it sit in the acid, the more it will be cooked. A little bit more, the firmer of whatever protein you're cooking the acid with will get. It's totally up to you how you like to eat your ceviche. So what we're gonna do is, I like to put it in something like a martini glass. It is a very pretty dish. It does eat very, very well, and it is a great thing. Like I said, like I try to tell you in every episode, If you like these recipes, there's two very easy ways that you can get the recipes for every one of these. Either you watch my show on repeat till you remember every single word I say, or you order one of my cookbooks from Donuts to Dinners, in which case it will have a step-by-step directions on how to make every recipe that we've been talking about this season. So like I said, our shrimp is cooked. It's been in there for about an hour. We have our garlic, our onions, our cilantro, our lemon tude from Twisted Cow Distillery, our grapefruit juice, our limes, and our lemons. If you want, you could also add a little bit of zest to this. It is completely up to you. Completely how your style of cooking is and how you like your dishes. It is absolutely a great dish. It is a very pretty date night dish or to serve to your loved ones. And that is our dish. Again, my name is Chef Chris. This is from Donuts to Dinners. Tonight we made a Peruvian style ceviche, as well as a papas in an quinceañera sauce, which is basically a yellow pepper based Peruvian sauce. We topped that with some eggs and some capers. Like I told everyone earlier, this episode was dedicated in memory of Elvia Rivadeneira, who died unfortunately approximately about a month ago. As I said in a few other episodes, I'd like to reiterate the contest we've been running. Like I've told you in our first episode, and it's continuing on in our first episode, or we'll announce the winners, at the end of the season of the show. The first 5 people who donate to one of these organizations, these are law enforcement and military aid organizations, will get a prize in the mail. They will get a t-shirt or a mug or maybe in a signed cookbook. We'll see how things go. Again, signed cookbook from me, from Donuts to Dinners. Or the grand prize at the end of the season for everybody that's been contributing. Each of the presidents of these organizations will be in contact with me. The person who has the tagline from Donuts to Dinners on their donation, the person who gives the greatest donation out of all 5 of the organizations, we'll tell them at the end. Whoever has the highest donation will win the grand prize. The grand prize is actually one of your choices. You will either have the choice to me to fly wherever you are in the continental United States, come to your home, cook for you like I do in my normal day-to-day business of the Date Chef, or you get a chance to be immortalized on national TV. I will take your family's recipe, whether it be an old tradition, something you like to do right now, and I will take your recipe, you will teach me how to make it, and I will credit the entire episode to your family or to you in terms of your recipe, and you'll get national exposure for how you cook or how your family's most favorite dish. Again, thank you very much. I will see you on the next episode. My name is Chef Chris. You can contact me via my website, thedatechef.net, my email address, thedatechef@gmail.com, or on Facebook under the name The Date Chef. I do not have an Instagram yet. I am trying. I got to come back into the 21st century. Maybe someone of the youngins will teach me how to do it. But thank you again. I'll see you on the next episode. I'm Chef Chris, and this is from Donuts to Dinners.